4 cruise ships, 1 small Alaska town, and we are about to walk right through the middle of it. So this morning we're waking up along Alaska's Inside Passage and looking across the beautiful little town of Ketchikan, Alaska from our balcony aboard the Discovery Princess. We've got about an hour and a half to kill before our excursion starts, so we decided to head ashore and take a walk through town. So the town of Ketchikan sits between the mountains and the ocean in southeast Alaska. And for more than a century, this town has been built around fishing, logging, and life on the water. On the left, we're approaching the Timber and Tide Surf and Turf Taco Shop. It gets its name from the 2 industries that shape the region, timber from the National Forest and tide from the fishing industry that built Ketchikan into Alaska's salmon capital. You know, it's such different scenery from Texas and so beautiful. We had to stop here and get some selfies. Cheese. Funny that they're right between. One more. Just right for physics.
Oh, look at you're just my fiance. Yesterday on the cruise, I saw one more person doing this number. Trying to fit 75 people.
This one does 360 at once.
Oh, look at that. I can dance for it.
So you're there. You're on. You're on. Take care. You know, I think cruise culture is very unique because nowhere else will you find a situation where people just feel comfortable walking up and just talking to you like you were lifelong friends. Grabber.
This is a cute.
Yeah, just seeing the whole. This is called Alaskan boat brokers.
So our ship was docked at the northern end of the harbor, so getting into town means we got to walk past several other cruise ships tied along the piers. You can see on one side of the street you got all the local shops and the restaurants, but on the other side you see these massive ships rising up above the docks. That one's fun. It's just such an interesting view here with these huge cruise ships that hold thousands of people parked right next to these fishing boats. So technically at this point, we are exiting the actual cruise terminal. And you can see up ahead, there's yet another cruise ship docked. Up here on the left, you're going to see a massive wooden eagle carving. And eagles are one of the most important symbols in Southeast Alaska Native culture. And in Ketchikan, you'll see them everywhere, both carved in cedar and soaring above the harbor. Oh. So across the street on the left is a big tourist destination called the Alaskan King Crab Company. But you know, here's a fun fact for you. Alaskan king crabs don't come from southeast Alaska. They actually are harvested way up north in the Bering Sea near Dutch Harbor. And here we're going to turn up the docks, turn up the back side of a street called Spruce Mill Way, which leads straight into the heart of town. Definitely pretty up there. So right along the waterfront, you're going to see several totem poles, just like this one at Whale Park. You know, totem poles are a kind of a storytelling monument carved by native artists, and Ketchikan calls itself the totem pole capital of the world. And so they say that many totem poles were actually or originally meant to eventually return to Earth. That's why traditional poles were often left to naturally decay rather than being preserved forever. So this is Ketchikan Creek, and really was one of our reasons for coming out here. We wanted to see the salmon ladder. It's supposed to be pretty popular. Salmon, you know, they return here after spending years out in the Pacific Ocean, and they climb these steps so that they can reach the exact stream where they were born. Here's a fun fact for you. You know, salmon don't eat when they return to spawn. All the energy they use climbing the creek and the ladder come from fat reserves built up while they're out in the ocean. It's almost excursion time, so we're gonna have to head back towards the ship, but even a short walk about like this gives you a feel for what Ketchikan is all about. Next video is our excursion, so if you want to know about that, hit that subscribe and bell button so you'll be notified.